guys, what's going on? So we got some good news and some bad news. The good news is I'm making another video. Yay. The bad news is I lost fucking like 700 subscribers overnight. I don't even know what the fuck happened. I just was like, woke up and had 1.2K. I think I was at 1.9K, but I don't know what happened, but I just lost 700 subscribers out of nowhere. Anyways, we'll start over again for like what, the fifth time now? How many times have I had to start my channel over again? Makes you wonder if I'm saying some truth on this bitch. But anyways, so I wanted to talk about will I be uploading this? Yeah, I should be uploading this one right after making it. So I was supposed to have a conversation with another person yesterday. I was going to make a video out of it. Life happened over and over and over again. It's funny how that always happens every time I try to connect with other truthers. But life happened over and over and over again. So, Shangel, if you're watching this, I may be calling you later tonight. Hopefully you pick up. But he's astral projector and truth seeker. So anyways, I want to talk about slavery. Slavery. What the fuck does that even mean, bro? Like, well, so one of the things I wanted to talk about with slavery is that what really changed? Like, what changed in the consciousness of humanity? Maybe I should back up. Yeah, I should back up as far as I can go instead of being all fucking like in the mug of the damn camera. But what changed really? Because again, I don't know about any of this history. I think it's all potentially bullshit. I don't know what is true in history anymore, but we're going to go based off the official history. So, which doesn't make sense to me. I just don't understand. Like when they say, oh, they built the pyramids. Well, how'd they move the stones? Oh, they used ropes. Well, who pulled the ropes? Oh, all the slaves, like hundreds and thousands of slaves. How the fuck do you hold down thousands of people in ancient world technology? What did they have? They didn't even have muskets. So how did like generals or army men hold slaves down? And even let's say in like what, the 1600s or whatever, the 1500s in America, whatever, the 1700s, whenever slavery was still happening, how would like one rancher hold down like a whole field of slaves with one rifle? Because it just doesn't make sense to me. Because I don't know where everybody else, where I grew up, black people were tough. Black people were tough. They dealt with poverty and hell, and they dealt with it. If you not every single one, you know, I can't, but in general, they were pretty tough guys that I grew up around, black guys. And is it wrong for me to label a whole race based off what I've observed? I'm just saying in general. Like if you lined up 10 of the black guys I grew up around, probably 10 of them would fist fight you to the death if you challenged them. Like none of them were soft or weak. So I can't imagine like one redneck white dude that's a slave owner, like even holding down 4 or 5 slaves with a rifle. One of them, you know, you got to load each bullet type of piece of shit. And before that, what were they using? Whips? How the hell would you hold down 2 full-grown adults with a whip, let alone a whole field of? Anyways, none of slavery made sense to me. It's like, yeah, but once you get to a certain point, like let's say you had one slave, this dude's living with you. Like the slave's living in your house and you're just like brutalizing him and beating him and making him work all day. That dude's gonna end up killing you some sort of way. Like I know I would if I was a slave to some fucking evil motherfucker beating me and shit, making me work. I'd kill that motherfucker. I'd sneak into his room at night and stab him in his fucking neck. Maybe I'm a weird type of person. Maybe other people are just so easy to control and get it, but I just can't imagine. Like you think that they like at one point would be like, hey, Paul. And he's like, yeah, Fred. These may not be the proper names. Anyway, it don't matter. Semantics. Aren't you sick of that fuck boy playing with us? Yeah, me too. Hey, let's go bash his head in with a rock real quick and take his horse and get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't know, but somehow back in the day with primitive stone fucking mallets and shitty technologies, even before the muskets, people knew how to hold down whole groups of slaves. What did they eat? So were they slaves? Like, were you feeding them? Or were you expecting them to work for you and not feed them and keep them hydrated? So are they slaves or are they working for a living? Because if you're supplying them the food and water to survive, I'm talking about out in Egypt. Like they had thousands of slaves pulling these fucking trillion-ton fucking bricks around with ropes, like through the sand. It's like the slaves did it. Well, who controlled the slaves? Who fed them and kept them hydrated out in the middle of the desert too? Like that's a serious task we're talking. Well, anyways, just like I don't know. We believe what we're told, but what actually changed though? Because up until recent recorded history, it was legal to own another human. It was legal to own people, for individuals to own another person. Um, and what actually changed was humanity really just said, enough's enough. Like, this is too evil. Like, we just don't agree with this no more. Like, it's not okay to own another person. That's not cool. Like, the collective consciousness, you could say, of humanity was like, enough's enough. We're not doing that. We're not doing that shit. And it became illegal or whatever to be a slave person, and now it's even frowned upon, and which it should be. It's disgusting. Like, imagine, well, anyways, like, being a slave. I'm like, what the fuck are you, a weirdo? Like, I'd bash your fucking skull in, dude. Like, I just don't understand how they existed next to even other white people. Like, were there no good? And that just tells me humanity's disgusting. Like, as long as it's legal, they're okay with it. Like, they don't really care. Like, there was no morality. There was no white folks like that lived in this part of the city that were like, yo, we ain't cool with that shit. Don't bring that fucking shit around me. I'll kill one of you slave owners. You know, like, where was the good people? Anyways, it's just like, but I don't know. None of it makes sense. Like, I just can't imagine it all happening the way they said it happened. It's like, it's just too bogus. None of it adds up. You have to like dismiss like people's ability to fight back. Like, first off, I want to say this: slavery, if it did exist the way they said it exists, only exists so that you will look to that as actual slavery and not look to this current observable reality as slavery. That's the only reason it exists. It's a diversion thing. Oh, no, no. We're not slaves. That's what real slaves. No, no, we're slaves too. Don't get it twisted. And that's why I'm saying it. That's what it does. It makes it where you go, well, I'm not a slave because that's what a slave is over there. No, no, you're a slave. You're just in a very sophisticated prison. The guards have figured you out so well that they don't even have to patrol you on horseback anymore. Now they can do it from some building and in some other state they can control you. You're in a very sophisticated prison. So slavery still exists. Well, let me see what I wrote here. Slavery. What changed? I don't know, the collective consciousness of humanity. Can we do that again with the evildoers of current observable reality? Can consciousness just shift and go, yeah, we're not doing this no more? Can we do that again? uh, Slavery goes into you're still slaves. Nothing really changed. The prison just became more sophisticated. So we agree that individuals can no longer own slaves while simultaneously agreeing that government or corporations can. That's really what we did. That's really what abolishing slavery was. It was saying, well, the individuals can't own slaves anymore, but yeah, the corporations and government still can. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I don't need to convince anybody watching my channel. Uh, you know, this reality's bullshit. Everything it says is a lie. Everything it says is a deception. Everything it says is misconstrued or exaggerated or bizarre and just doesn't add up. Like, when you look at the actual information you're told in any subject, like, I'm a conscious truther now. So if I got into any subject, I would see the flaws in it. I'm serious. Any subject, if I got into it, I would see the flaws in it and how it doesn't add up and doesn't make sense. If I became, let's say, if I became a chemist, I would probably become like a master chemist because I would see the holes through all the bullshit. If I had to go back to grade 1 of chemistry and figure out and seeing the holes in their bullshit, I would see right through all of it where it doesn't make sense. I would just walk through as a chemist with nothing but more questions. But I would probably be better at it than them if I looked at it because of who I am now. It's just that way. But I would see the holes in it. If you made me an airplane mechanic, I would all of a sudden see the flaws in the system that they tell us that these airplanes operate with. I would see what they're actually doing to run these I don't know, super advanced air blimps. That's what they actually are. Airplanes just look metal. They're actually just like giant, well, giant. They're not that big compared to some of the old blimps, but that's what they are. They're like these air powered air blimps. Those fucking jet fans. They don't use thousands of gallons of fuel. Like, what are you talking about? Them wobbly ass wings. The wings are like this when you're flying, bro. You think there's like thousands and thousands of gallons of fuel in the wings? They might have a little box where they put in like a gallon of fuel that just sparks certain things or spark plugs in there. But other than that, those things are air powered blimps. But well, anyways, I don't want to talk about it. But if you, when me and my brother were flying back from where the fuck were we? Oh, Idaho, I think. We were flying back to Florida from Idaho. The kid in the row with us was a fucking aircraft pilot, and he told us everything about airplanes for the whole flight for like an hour and a half. This Jamaican kid told us like, you don't know what these things can do. We have planes that fly out where the front of the plane opens. It takes in the planes, and we can use that big giant plane to repair other planes. He said these planes, when we're doing certain maintenances and stuff to them, uh, he said he's seen them do maneuvers where they can literally just stay like this. He said they could float like this. He said they could float upside down. He's like, you'd be surprised how advanced these planes are. If this engine goes bad, he said literally the way the system's set up, those engines on that wing can still power that engine and keep the plane flying level. But by the time we sat down, I was like, damn, I didn't know all this shit about planes. You know what I'm saying? But if I was in his shoes, I would see all the lies told to us. You know what I'm saying? If I was him, I would see right through it. If I was the mechanical guy on the plane, and I'd be videoing it and showing everybody what's going on. So I'm saying, like, if you took me and put me in any subject in this reality, I'm going to see the whole story. It's just who I am. And I can do that with reality as a whole too. Like this slavery shit I'm talking about. You think you're not a slave? How? How are you not a slave? Fixing the world would actually be very easy. Actually, that's what the next video I'm going to make. This video wasn't meant to be long, but anyways, yeah, sucks that I lost a bunch of subscribers, but I'm gonna keep trucking forward because that's what we do in the Dookie Boy realm. Every time it throws another curveball, we just keep going. I don't know where I get the energy to deal with this fucking nonsense of a reality, but anyways, I say if you appreciate my channel and you're another channel out there, give me a shout out. A lot of people have shared my videos. I appreciate that, guys, but yeah, just lost 700 subscribers out of nowhere. It is what it is, but I'll catch you guys on the next one.